Hey, we're live.
1, 2, 3, 56.
Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to Magical Pain-Free Living with Shalini. I am your host, Shalini Joshi Amdagni, and I'm the founder of magicalpainfreeliving.com, magicalpainfreeliving.com, and I'm a best-selling author. And today's show is all about hip pain. So I want to ask you, are you struggling with hip pain? Are you feeling frustrated and just annoyed because this hip pain is sort of interfering in some way, with your life, whether your daily routine, and it's kind of holding you back and it's annoying, and you've been trying different things maybe for a while and you're still not getting the relief that you're looking for. And if that's you, then, stay right there, stay tuned, because we are today going to be looking at two important issues. We're going to look at what is the root cause of hip pain. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. And we're also going to look at how we can manage hip pain instantly. Okay, so does that sound good to you?
Yes.
And today's show is also special because we have Pauline with us. Why don't you say hi, Pauline?
Hi, greetings from Iceland.
Yeah, she's joining me from Iceland. And what time is it there, Pauline?
12 o'clock noon.
And it's 7 p.m. here in Thailand.
Wow.
So Pauline will be jumping in as we do some live demos, so that makes the show extra special. And before we jump in, I just want to say that most people in chronic pain make the mistake of addressing their pain only at a physical level and not really getting to the underlying root causes. And I've often said that pain is simply a message from your body. And it's not just a message about what's going on physically with me, but what's going on mentally, emotionally, spiritually inside of me. We are triune beings. We are mind, body, spirit. And it's not that if something's going on physically with us, that's a different box, and that the other two boxes of mental and spiritual and emotional are completely disconnected. And so most people in chronic pain, me included, 10 years ago, make the mistake of addressing only the physical aspects. And if you're not going to address the underlying root causes, then we never really get the lasting relief. And that's why it's really important to look at what's going on inside of us, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because it's all interconnected. And that's what we're going to do today with hip pain. Now, I've always said that pain is simply a message from your body. And every part of the body has a different function, right? Your shoulder has a different function. Your eyes have a different function. Your hands have a different function. Your knees have a different function. And your hips have a different function too. And so we need to, go and tune into what's the message about hip pain. Now, so here's part one, right? What's the root cause of hip pain? When you think about your hips, hips help us move forward in life. Hips carry us forward, right? And hips also set the pace, okay? They set the pace of our life. So if you're having hip pain, then, you want to think about, like, what's feeling painful as you move forward? What's the resistance moving forward? What's your pace? Are you moving forward at a happy pace, very relaxed and, comfortable pace? Or are you moving forward too fast for your own good and there's like too much going on and it's a very frantic pace? Or is it too slow? The other aspects of the root cause of hip pain could be, are there major decisions that you need to make for the next step forward? Are there big decisions that you have to make for the, for the next phase of your life, for the next step in your life? And also, what is the resistance moving forward? What is the fear moving forward? What is, are you feeling overwhelmed moving forward? Are you feeling stressed moving forward? Are you feeling, what's the resistance? So these are the different aspects. Are you, do you have to make important decisions? Are you feeling stressed moving forward? Are you fearful about the next step that you have to take? So all these different pieces, I've underlined them here, and let me just show them to you. So, just so that you can have a look and see what's going on with you. It's all about moving forward. These are the root causes, and not all may apply to you. Maybe some apply to you, and you can just see, is it moving forward? What's the pace? Am I moving forward too fast? Am I moving forward with a lot of resistance? Is there a next important step in my life that I'm afraid to make a decision about? Or a mix of one of these kind of issues, okay? So that's really what's at the root of hip pain. And usually, we just address, we do injections, we do pills, we do physiotherapy, we do ultrasound therapy, and all those different treatments are, they have their value. But unless you're going to address the root underlying cause, then you're never really getting the lasting relief that you look for, even though you may get some temporary help. And so right now what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to get Pauline in, and I will be asking her a bunch of questions. So please lean in and pay attention to what I'm asking her, and ask yourself those questions as well. And we will be doing tapping, EFT, emotional freedom techniques. Here it is, emotional freedom techniques. And if you are brand new to emotional freedom techniques, or tapping as it's known, let me just give you a quick review. It's basically modern psychology meets acupuncture. So we're going to, be tapping with our fingertips, not with needles, on key acupressure points on different parts of our body, very easily accessible parts of our body, as we tune in to what's bothering us, what's stressing us out. So we tune in and we tap. That's basically what it is. If you want to know more, you can visit my website, magicalpainfreeliving.com, or you can go to the previous episodes, and I share all the details in the introductory episode, or the episode number 1. But don't worry if you don't know anything about it. We'll be saying things along, and you can just you can watch us live here, or if you're listening to the recording on a podcast, then I will be verbally saying it out loud, so that you can try to follow along as best as you can. So let's call Pauline. Pauline, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? And I understand that you do have hip pain. So just tell us a little bit about what's been going on, so that we can have a background. I'll be taking some notes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and fibromyalgia about 20 years ago, and so I've had pain in different parts of my body. About 10 years ago, I was 98 kilos, and I was walking with walking sticks, and like every part of my body was really painful. And I woke up one morning and decided, no, enough is enough. I want to get my life back. So something changed in my mind, and I started exercising a little, eating better. I lost 18 kilograms, and I could throw away my walking sticks, and I had these things on my hands, to help. And so most of my body is, the pain has reduced greatly, immensely. But for the last 2 years, this pain in my hip has been keeping me up at night. And sometimes the pain goes down my leg and to my foot. It's not sciatic pain, it's something different. And it's more like a numbness. And I don't know if it's my posture, but now when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's like because I'm stressed about other things, because I started a company about
Okay,
4 years ago.
just pause.
That's enough.
So,
Too much info.
no. I would love that info, but I'm just gonna,
In
just tell
chunks.
the people who are watching. So it's
Yeah.
important to, first of all, let me ask you, Pauline, right now, where do you feel the hip pain right now?
Right now, where do I feel it, or how intense do I feel it?
No, like just where is it? Because sometimes it's on the left side or it's in the center of my
Oh yeah, of course. It's always on the left side. Always on the left side. I've never had it on my right side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's on the left side of your hip.
Yes.
And if you were to rate it right now on a scale of 0 to 10, not like it gets really intense in the morning or but right now, as you're sitting here, how intense does it feel on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 is like it's really, really bad. And 0 is like none at all.
It's about a 5. It's usually in the nighttime, it's worse. But today it's noon, it's about a 5. Yeah.
Okay. And how would you describe the pain? So we know it's on the left side of your hip. We know that the intensity is about a 5. How would you describe the pain? Because a lot of people have different descriptions for their pain. Some people feel a soreness, not pain. Some people just say it feels like heaviness or pressure. What does it feel like to you right now? This 5, whatever that 5 is.
It's a sort of spreading pain. It's like it's not sharp, but it's a sort of
it's kind of radiating,
and somehow it's like a numbness, but that doesn't sound right because numb you wouldn't feel it. But it's like, when this sort of it feels a bit like I really don't know what it is. It's like pressure. And
okay.
It's
pressure, it's spreading,
and it's radiating. It's like a big sort of giant circle. It's not in one point. It's spread. If I put my hands on my hip, I could stand up and show you if you want.
No, that's okay. I get it. You said giant circle. So it's kind of like in a big area.
Yeah.
On the left side of the hip.
And it's so irritating. I just want to run away from it. But I can't. It will come with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the next step. So I was asking Pauline right now, I'm just sharing with the audience as we go along that whenever you have, if you have a hip pain, first of all, notice where is it located? How intense does that feel right now? And describe it, because for everyone it's different. And how do you feel about that pain is also an important piece of getting to the root. So as Pauline, you were saying, you feel like you want to run away, you feel frustrated. How does it interfere in your life right now?
It keeps me awake at night, and then so that makes me tired in the morning. And I'm always trying to stretch and move and trying to sleep in the bed in a comfortable position. And I can be comfortable for 2 or 3 minutes, and then the pain starts to throb, and it's driving me nuts. It's very making my life, because I have a lot of stress in my life right now, and this is just adding to it. It's like,
Sure. Okay. So for those who've joined, or if you're watching on the replay, or you're listening on the podcast, or you found your way to my YouTube channel, or just follow along. And I want you to tune in as we did with Pauline. Where's your pain located? How intense it is? Give yourself a 0 to 10 number, and just notice how are you feeling about it. Okay. And once you've done that, we're going to start tapping. We're going to start using this tool to try to manage those pain levels. And we're going to see on a scale of 0 to 10, if it's a 5, did it shift? What happened? So let's just jump into the tapping. The tapping is basically, right now what we're going to do, Pauline, you can follow along, is tap on the karate chop. And the karate chop point is the point at the start or the base of the pinky finger all the way down to your wrist, right? That's that big area, and it could be on either side of your hand. So it starts at the pinky, at the base of the pinky, going down to the wrist.
And do I use...
That's the karate chop point.
How many fingers do I use?
I'm going to use a bunch of fingers to tap
Okay.
on whether you can tap on either side of the hand. So let's tap on the karate chop point. And at this point, we're going to address the problem that we are having. We're tuning in and we're tapping. We're tuning into what's going on with us. And I'm going to say everything that's related to Pauline, but you can tune in and shift the words around to your specific description of the pain, intensity of the pain, and the location of the pain, okay? So let's begin. And Pauline, we're going to play Simon Says, and you just, you're just going to follow along. So even though I'm holding on, tap on the karate chop and say, even though I'm holding on, just repeat in your mind.
Even though I'm holding on.
Even though I'm holding on to this pain on the left side of my hip.
Even though I'm holding on to this pain in the left side of my hip.
I choose to acknowledge my body's message to me.
I choose to acknowledge.
Even though I'm having so much pain on the left side of my hip.
Even though I'm having.
And it feels like pressure, like.
Should I be saying it in my mind?
Should
I be saying it in my mind or out loud?
And it's radiating. Can you hear me, Pauline?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
No, you don't. You don't.
Should I speak or just have it in my mind?
Yeah, just have it in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going at the karate chop. Even though I'm holding on to this pain in the left side of my hip, and it's really annoying. I feel like I want to run away. It's really taking a toll on me. I'm going to acknowledge how I'm feeling, and I'm going to honor this message that my body is sending to me. Now we're going to tap on other points. So we're going to go what we call the eyebrow point, and it's the start of your eyebrow. So just tap on that eyebrow wherever it starts, whether it's on the left side or the right side, you can choose. So keep tapping and tuning in and just following along, okay? You're just following along with me. All this pain in my left hip that I'm holding on to. On the side of your eye, just tap on the side of your eye. All this pain in my left hip. Under the eye, just tap under one of the eyes. On the bone, right? On the bone under the eye. All this pain in my hip that I'm holding on to. Under the nose. I feel so frustrated. I feel like on the chin, tap on the chin. I feel like I want to run away. Collarbone, just tap on the collarbone area. I can't sleep because of this hip pain. Top of the head, just tap on the top of the head. This pain on the left side of my hip, it's keeping me from feeling peace and ease in my life. Eyebrow. All this pain in my left hip and moving forward in my life. Side of the eye. All these annoyed feelings moving forward. Under the eye, all this ache and pain in my left hip moving forward. Under the nose, it feels like it's spreading, it's radiating in a circle. On the chin, it even feels like pressure. All this pressure on my left hip. Collarbone. I'm still holding on to all this pressure in my left hip. As I move forward, tap on the top of the head. What if I could release some of this pain and let it go? Tap on the eyebrow point. What if I could release some of this pressure that I'm holding on to? Side of the eye. What if I don't have to move forward holding on to so much stress and tension and pressure? Under the eye. What if I could release all this pressure and tension that I'm holding on to subconsciously somewhere? Under the nose. What if I could feel more ease moving forward in my life? On the chin. What if I could feel more peace moving forward in my life? Collarbone. I choose to feel more relaxed and peaceful as I release and let go this pressure, this frustration, this heaviness. Tap on the top of the head. I prefer peace moving forward. And just take a deep breath. And I want you to notice, what thoughts are coming up, what's coming up for you. And let's go to Pauline and see, Pauline, just tune back in to that hip pain on your left hip. And if it was a level 5, and it was radiating and it was like in a circle and felt like pressure, what's happening right now? I'm going to take notes.
It's much less, and I feel like, what happened there? Like I've seen this done before, and I thought, these people are just making it up. But really, I would say it's like a 2.
Okay.
No?
So from a scale of 0 to 10, from a 5, it's at a 2. Uh-huh. And I want everybody, joining in and tapping along to tune into your number and see what's going on with your pain. Going back to Pauline. Now, I want you to describe the pain that you're feeling right now. Like, what does it feel like? Does it feel like it's radiating, it's spreading, it's pressure?
It feels like the circle is smaller.
Yeah.
The circle is smaller. And it's like, it's like there is definitely a center to the circle, and it's got smaller. And so the pain is in that smaller area. But even it's in a smaller area, it's less intense. It's like somebody was pushing, and now they're still pushing, but they're a little bit not so hard, Mm-hmm. But when I was doing it, my mind, I was trying to focus on what you were saying, but my mind was going to all the stressful things that my husband is sick, and my business is really busy, and my mind kept jumping to these things, and then I kept saying, no, go back to remember what Shalini is saying.
That's fine. Because that's the process. So I'm just going to do a bit of coaching. So what happens is when you're tuned in to this pressure, because it feels like this pressure that's radiating in a circle. And when you're talking about all this pressure and you're tapping on your body is tuning into, what's going on? What's the pressure in my life right now? What's the pressure moving forward? What's the pressure that I'm feeling in my daily life? And so, it's really important to tune in to what comes up. What are the thoughts that come up? Because those are the root issues that need to be addressed. Now, going back to you, Pauline, you're saying that all these things were coming up. Your husband's sick, and you have a lot of pressure in your work. Now, I want to go back to, when was the first time you noticed that this pain started? I heard you say it was 2 years ago.
It could have been 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. Yeah, the time goes by quickly. The older you get, the quicker time goes by.
So let's tune. The other question I want to ask you right now is, can you remember what the stress in your life was, like 2-3 years ago, when you started noticing this pain? What was the stress in your life at that time?
It was, I started a company, and it was doing well, but there was so much involved, and I had never run a company before. And I'm originally from Scotland. I'm living in Iceland, so everything here, the business was in Icelandic. So I was having to learn more words, Icelandic words, and still not understanding everything. So even if you start a company in your own language, it's difficult enough, but starting it in another language was really stressful. And I made a lot of mistakes, because I didn't really know what I was doing. And then of course I lost a lot of money because I would buy something that wasn't appropriate for the business. And then I would be chastising myself. Oh, you're so stupid. Why did you buy this or do that?
Yeah. So just hang on.
A lot of
so whenever you're working with hip pain or any sort of pain, actually, you want to go back and notice, when was the first time I noticed this pain started? Because pain, I said, is a message. It's simply a message, and it's letting you know, hey, something's going on. But it's not something going on outside of you, it's something going on inside of you. So you want to go back and you want to see, what was the stress in my life when I first noticed this hip pain? And I can guarantee you there was some stress in your life, because your body is a very intelligent being. It knows it's doing its stuff until we're doing something that's putting pressure or resistance inside. And so for those who are joining us, tune into what was going on in your life. That's a very key question to get to the root issues of what was going on in my life when I first noticed this pain, and tune into that stress. So Pauline, if I asked you right now, to try to go back to that incident where, maybe just close your eyes and tune into that time when you were starting a company, you were in Iceland, you were learning your new language, and your husband was, you said, sick, and you started the company and making mistakes. If you tune into that time, what feelings come up right now as you think about that time? On a scale of 0 to 10, what comes up for you? What are the dominant feelings that you're feeling when you think about that old incident? And what would your number be on a scale of 0 to 10 about the stress that you were going through? You can open your eyes, yeah.
A 10.
10. So when you're tuned into that right now, it feels like a 10. And as you tuned in right now, the other thing is, what's going on with your hip right now, the left hip?
It's getting more painful.
Okay, so it was a 5 and went down to a 2. Now how much is it?
It's about a 5 again. Maybe a 4, maybe a 4.
So what is the dominant feeling that's coming up that feels like a 10? Is it anger? Is it frustration?
No, it's like I have to do everything myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The only person I can rely on is myself.
Yeah. And I want to just.
And then, and I'm responsible for the mistakes.
Yeah. And it's a heavy burden to bear. And so, it's just pausing for a bit, and you want to go back and say that hips move you forward, and hips are about, important decisions that you're making moving forward. So you're making certain decisions, you're making certain mistakes because you made those decisions. And there's a lot of stress moving forward, starting a company or moving forward with a big decision, and there's mistakes and all of that. And so that stress is still embedded inside, and it hasn't been released. And that's why it's stored. And even though it's been a long time that, that you've had this, when you tune up into it right now, you can still feel that stress inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to do some tapping, Pauline. Let's begin some tapping. And actually, to make it simple, we're just going to tap on the collarbone so that it's just easy to follow. And I want you to tune in and just follow along. And those who are tapping along, tune into what was stressing you out as I, tune into tapping on Pauline's stress. You can tune into your stress and just follow along. And to make it really simple, just tap on your collarbone, yeah? Where we're just tapping on the collarbone. It's just mushy area right under your collarbone. So tap there, and we're gonna tune in. All the stress from the past.
All the stress.
I can remember when this started.
I can remember.
2-3 years ago, all the stress, starting that company, learning the language, all the stress in my body. Keep tapping on the collarbone. All the stress in my life when I was starting my company, making those mistakes. It's hard enough starting your business in your own country. And I was starting business in a different country with different language. All those mistakes, having to do this all on my own. Moving forward, so much responsibility moving forward, so much stress moving forward, so many decisions moving forward, so many mistakes moving forward, all this tension, all this old stress. I can still feel it and feels like a 10. All this tension and stress and guilt, making those mistakes, feeling responsible, losing money, all this stress that I'm still holding on to. I'm here in this room, but I can still feel that stress from 2-3 years ago. What if I could release that now? What if I don't have to carry that baggage with me everywhere I go, every day of my life? What if I could feel free instead? What if I can offload some of that stress and that pressure in my left hip, moving forward? What if I could feel ease and peace instead? I used to have that conflict. Thank God it's over. I can release this pressure now. I can release this stress now and allow myself to feel peace and ease in my mind, in my heart, in my body, in my left hip as I move forward. Take a deep breath. Okay. And as we were tapping, just see what was coming up for you. See what thoughts came up, what feelings came up. We're going to go back to Pauline right now. So Pauline, what's going on? Let's tune into if the number was back at a 4 and a 5 in your left hip. What's going on right now?
Yeah, it's much reduced. I would say it's back to a 2 again. Yeah.
And did anything come up for you as we were doing the tapping?
Yeah, I was remembering that the biggest mistake that I made in the company.
Can you just tap as you're speaking? Yeah.
Yeah. I was remembering the specific biggest mistake that I made in the company and how much money, and my mind was counting up how much I'd lost. and also the comments I got back from my customers about how bad this thing was. And
as you tune into that, what are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling right now, I'm telling myself, why are you worried about this thing that happened 2 years ago? That was like crazy. You know, it's like, this is the past, that's the past, you're in the present now. And yeah, I feel it's like, because I'm always saying to people, oh, leave your emotional baggage behind, but I'm keeping my own emotional baggage. I feel pretty stupid.
Okay. And that's what we do. And, we don't do it consciously. We're not holding on to our emotional stuff. We think we've let go, but it's never really let go, because here's the thing to know. If you've really let go, if you tune back into 10 years ago, 2 years ago, or whenever your pain started and whatever the stress was, when you can look at it and feel neutral and not feel shame and not feel guilt and not feel pain and not feel like, oh my God, and not feel like a 10 emotionally, then you really know. I can hear you, breathe deep, and that's a good sign. So emotionally, what's your number right now? You were feeling like a 10. when you thought about that incident?
Or stressed,
What's your number right now when you think of that 2 years ago?
About a 5.
And what's
about a
still
5.
there?
Yeah.
What's the 5? What's that 5?
Guilt, I would think.
Okay, let's
guilt,
just have,
yeah. And I feel like I'm why are you so stupid? Why did you make that mistake? You know, like you should have thought about it better. You know?
Okay, so let's just do some tapping. All these remaining feelings, when I think about that incident, feeling stupid, keep tapping on the collarbone. These remaining feelings that I'm still holding on to, I'm still feeling guilty about something I did in the past. I'm still beating myself up. All this past guilt, remaining guilt for making those mistakes. I was new, in a new country, starting a new business, wasn't perfect. No one's perfect. Nobody starts a company and has success right away. I wonder how many people out there have made the same mistakes I did. What if I could release that guilt? What if I was just doing the best that I could with the tools that I had, and I was trying my best? I prefer to release all these heavy feelings of guilt and shame and feeling not good enough, because nothing's perfect, no one's perfect, and mistakes are really not failures. They're just stepping stones. It's all a learning process. What if I could make peace with the past? Take a deep breath. And I want you to notice right now, what's the number about the feeling? How are you feeling? If it was a 10 and it was a 5, feeling guilt and I'm stupid, I shouldn't have done this. What's coming up right now?
I'm thinking maybe I could try this process again, but in a different way, because now my mistake was actually an education.
Yeah.
And someone once said to me, I said to him, "Oh, I'll learn from my mistakes," and he said, "Will you?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Of course I will." And he went, "No." So he says, "A lot of people say that, but they actually don't learn from their mistakes. You know, they keep doing the same mistake again. You know." But now I know. I'm. This is my education. I'm looking at it now as like an expensive education. You know, like going to Harvard or something. You pay a lot of money. So this was my education. This is not how you do business. So
you learn what's, and for me, this is, I'm teaching where I failed miserably. I was on bed rest with chronic pain, and you can see it as a complete failure, or I learned from it, and now I can help others not to make the same mistake. So it's always a learning process. So right now, on a scale of 0 to 10, tune back in emotionally and just, what are you feeling on a scale of 0 to 10? I made those mistakes. The company had problems, lost money. As you tune back into that old incident 2 years ago, when the hip pain kind of started, how are you feeling about that right now when you think about it?
Maybe a 1 or a 2.
1 or a 2, and what might that be? Like what is that 1? You can pinpoint.
What is that 1? It's like maybe a little bit fear that or maybe some kind of guilt that I didn't ask for help. Then I was trying to do it all myself instead of
so I didn't
asking for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's tap. Tap along. This remaining feeling, this remaining 1 that I'm still feeling as I tune into that old incident. Why didn't I ask for help? This feeling, this remaining feeling. I didn't ask for help.
This remaining feeling.
And all these feelings that are coming up right now, when I tune into that old incident 2-3 years ago. So it wasn't perfect. I could have asked for help. I should have. All these feelings, they're not relevant right now. I'm choosing to release these feelings. I'm choosing to let them go. All the remaining guilt, all the remaining feelings of why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? I'm choosing to offload all those remaining feelings because they're not helping me, they're not empowering me, and they're just keeping me stuck. They're pulling me down. They're blocking me from moving forward in peace. I choose to release them and I move forward in peace now. And just take a deep breath, everyone who's following along. Pauline, I don't see you. That's fine. So tell me what's going on with you with that. What are you feeling right now as you tune into this incident? What's happening?
I'm feeling a bit lightheaded, like not that, like, how when you've had a big burden and then it lifts off and you feel like,
yeah. And when we're tapping, it's clearing. It's like it's unclogging jammed pipes. It's like when you get a massage and then suddenly you feel relaxed. And that's what happens, that lightheaded feeling, because there's more flow in your energy meridians and in the channels, and you feel a bit lighter. So tell me, on a scale of 0 to 10 emotionally, where is your number right now about this incident to you? Okay, so from a 10 to a 5 to
I would say
1
0.
to a 0. And tell me what's going on with your left hip. For a 1,
I would say it's.
I think that's
about a 1 or a
half.
That's
great, because it was a 5, and the thing is that there may be other incidents around that time, that 2 years ago, that you may need to address. So even for people who are watching, it's really important to go back, and because Pauline told me that you started your business, but also your husband had been going through some sickness. And if you kind of start going back to those incidents during that phase in your life when you were stressed, then you can actually clear this hip pain for good, for forever. So we only have this much time, and I know we're running short. We have 45 minutes. So it's wonderful that we were able to move this from a 10 to a 0 and a 5 to a half. That's a good description. But I want everybody to tune in and see what's going on with you right now. And just like a quick summary of what we just did. So first of all, we learned that the root cause of hip pain is all about moving forward, right? And what pace of life, and I can only imagine for Pauline with her hip pain, which started 2-3 years ago. She started a company, she was learning a new language, there's like so much to do, and the pace of life is naturally hectic, and there's a lot of stress with trying to do so many things. So, the root cause of hip pain is usually about making decisions moving forward. Are you moving forward frantic pace? Are you moving forward with resistance, with fear? And what's your pace? So tune into that. That's the root cause. And then as we began using the tapping technique, I asked a bunch of questions. Here's some of the ways that you need to address your chronic pain. The hip pain is, find a specific location. Where is it located? Left side of the hip, right side of the hip. Describe the pain for Pauline. It felt like a circle that was radiating. It felt like pressure. We gave it a number, rating it on a scale of 0 to 10. And then we tuned into how you're feeling about it. And we used all this information to tune in. And then we tapped on different points. And then the next round of tapping, we were looking at, when did this pain start? 2 years ago, Pauline was starting a new company, and a specific memory. We tuned into a specific memory, what was going on, and then what was the stress at the time. So we were tapping on the stresses that she was going through, and then, you know, just tuning into how you were feeling. And she was at a 10 right now, thinking about something that happened like 3 years ago. And that's really important. And the more you can get the intensity of your feelings from feeling overwhelmed and, you know, upset and mad at yourself and all of those things down to a 0, then, you know, you've significantly released that excess pressure inside your system, and you're feeling much more relieved. So we were able to manage her hip pain instantly, you know, without taking any medicines, without any, you know, just naturally, instantly, just with your fingertips. And that's what this tool can do for you. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you were able to, you know, tap along with us. I would love to know, you know, if you had any ahas, what came up for you? Was there any memory that came up for you? And what did you, you know, what shifts did you experience? How was, what your number was, and what happened towards the end? So, you know, thank you so much, Pauline, for being here, for joining. I hope you got something, you know, and you can go back and do some homework. And thank you for all the people who have joined us today or on live. Please leave a comment below and let us know what you know, what your shifts were. And we hope to, you know, you'll join us the next time. We'll be discussing, you know, a different area of chronic pain. So please join us. Again, my website is magicalpainfreeliving.com. So that's where you can reach me. And I'll see you in my next episode. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you from Iceland. Yay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye from Iceland. Bye.